What's going on, Geeks and Gamers? This is Ryan with the Arcade Outpost, and welcome to Gaming with Geeks. And in the aftermath of the Halo Infinite reveal at the Xbox Games Showcase, there was a significant amount of backlash about how this game looked, and a lot of questions about what we were going to see from it going forward. 343 Industries responded. They put out a big blog post detailing what they saw from a lot of people's criticisms and tried to explain some of those things away. There were also some rumors about this game, so before we get into what they have said, how they address the backlash, let's take a look at this bomb that they just dropped on us a few hours ago from the Halo official Twitter account. Like I said, there were rumors about this. Instead of pussyfooting around, they just came out and confirmed it. Halo is for everyone. We can confirm hashtag Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play and will support 120 FPS on Xbox Series X. More details will be shared later. So just in that one tweet, that's a lot to unpack. The idea that Halo multiplayer, one of the things, if you look back at the past couple decades of games, the heyday of Xbox, Halo multiplayer is what so many people were about. The idea that that could be free to play is pretty incredible. We had talked a little bit about, well, what if Halo Infinite maybe added some sort of battle royale mode that was free to kind of get people introduced to the game, right? With maybe a couple monetization options in there to try to sell the rest of the game. Never did we think that the multiplayer would be free to play, and the idea that it will support 120 FPS on Xbox Series X is pretty insane too. In a time where we're happy when we just get here something is at 60 FPS, it's going to be 120. That may explain some of the visual quality that we had a problem with. Maybe they're downgrading it slightly so they can get that higher FPS. But that has been confirmed now that Halo will be free to play multiplayer. An absolute game changer when we look at the future for the Xbox Series X. And again, it's cross-platform. So you don't even have to buy an Xbox Series X to play Halo multiplayer. You can just play it on your PC and not pay for anything. But let's take a look at what they have told us, how they have addressed some of this backlash, and they do talk a little bit about monetization and loot boxes and the beta, things like that. Halo Infinite Dev talks graphics, loot boxes, and why there may be no multiplayer beta, which, to be honest, could be concerning, especially if this thing is going to be free to play. They're not going to do any beta, just release it. How many bugs are there going to be if that happens? Now, regarding the graphics, 343 said there are multiple issues at play here, including the overall art style and the visual fidelity. I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of people had a problem with the art style. I think a lot of people liked the kind of old school style that they were going for. I think it's the visual fidelity. The fact the game just did not look very good in a lot of ways that has people concerned. With Halo Infinite, we're returning to a more classic art style, which was the key message going back to the very first reveal that garnered enthusiastic and positive responses. This translates to a more vibrant palette, cleaner models, and objects with less noise, though it doesn't mean less detail. While we appreciate this may not be everyone's personal preference, we stand by this decision. I don't think that that was really a big part of what they're talking about. I think most people had a problem with the visual fidelity, the flat, simplistic, plastic-like look. In many ways, we're in agreement. We do have to work on to address some of those areas and raise the level of fidelity and overall presentation for the final game. Again, this is supposed to release in the holiday season of this year, so that's not a ton of time to improve a lot of those things. The build used to run the campaign demo was work in progress from several weeks ago, with a variety of graphical elements and game systems still being finished and polished. While some of the feedback was expected and speaks to the areas already in progress, other aspects have brought new opportunities and considerations to light the team's taking very seriously. That is impressive to me that they're coming out and saying, hey, we hear you. We're already working on some of these things, but other things we weren't really that concerned with. Now we are, and we're going to try to fix that. So whether that is just trying to do good PR, whether they're actually going to try to do that, I'm not sure, but I like what I'm hearing from 343 in that aspect. They also get into microtransactions a little bit. Also in the blog post, 343 addressed how Halo Infinite will handle microtransactions. There will be no real money loot boxes, though the game is expected to feature microtransactions in other ways that have not yet been detailed. Now, this blog post came out before we knew that the multiplayer was going to be free to play. So there will not be any loot boxes involved. That's what they've said. No real money loot boxes. But you're obviously going to have microtransactions. What does that mean? Are they going to be predatory? Will they take advantage of you? Or will you be able to level up significantly just by playing, that you won't feel the pressure to have to pay to win in Halo multiplayer? That could be a new concern for people. You know, one that maybe weren't too worried about just in Halo multiplayer before. Now the fact that it's going to be free to play, are they going to try to make up that money in other ways that might really torpedo this game if that is the case? But right now, I think most people feel fairly comfortable with the fact there's not going to be any loot boxes. And the multiplayer beta may not happen. It states that 343 may not be able to deliver a pre-release beta as originally planned. So here's what they say. Our original plans for a large-scale flighting aren't where we intended, in large part due to the challenges from working at home during COVID-19. At this time, we're honestly not sure what is going to be possible in terms of flighting, but we're still hoping to have an opportunity for broader public hands-on before release. And as we previously stated, we'll be relying on flighting and continued feedback and community partnership beyond launch as we grow and evolve the game together. So no beta potentially for this game. And obviously betas for a game that's going to be released on a new console are a little bit tricky anyway. But that could be concerning if you're going to launch this thing without having a massive beta. Or by massive, I mean a significantly sized beta with something that has the potential to be as big as Halo Infinite, especially if the multiplayer is free to play. But in addition to free-to-play, I also wanted to cover this real quick. This is another rumor. We have not got any confirmation of this yet. But with the mention that the multiplayer will be free-to-play, take a look at this. Xbox Live Gold going away, multiplayer will be free. So it could be possible that not only do you not have to pay to play multiplayer for the game, for Halo Infinite, but you also don't have to pay to play online anymore for Xbox, which we have not seen for a long, long time. A notable video game reporter hints towards Microsoft phasing out Xbox Live Gold completely and making online multiplayer free for all. Many were surprised when Microsoft removed the option to buy the 12-month Xbox Live Gold subscriptions, which made a lot of people think maybe they're going to move away from that or rebrand it in some sort of way. Now, we have VentureBeat reporter Jeff Grubb further hinted at the company's plans to phase out the online multiplayer subscription service. In a thread, Grubb stated Xbox Live Gold is going away and playing online multiplayer will be free. They will not force you into Ultimate to play online. And he said that Fortnite proved that having huge engagement can lead to bigger returns, and getting rid of the multiplayer paywall can increase engagement. So I think a lot of this could all make sense if this is really Microsoft's new way of thinking. You know, Halo Infinite multiplayer, free to play. Multiplayer in general on Xbox One, free to play, just like it is on PC. Lot of things going on right now with Halo and with Xbox Series X. What do you guys think about all this? Make sure you comment, subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later.